What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and it's kind of early right now on Saturday. It's about 7 o'clock here my time. That means about 10 o'clock East Coast time. As I told you, I dropped for Lyft, so I was out working late last night. That's why I'm still up. I probably need to get some sleep, but I like to chill after I get home for a little bit. And I just finished watching K-Flexin's video on this whole Minkah Fitzpatrick thing going on. And so I wanted to make a response video to that because, I do like to compare everybody's, I do like to compare, like I said, I watch the other, YouTubers as much as I can. I mean, it's hard to watch, obviously all their stuff, but certainly big stuff like this, I like to compare our opinions. And so I wanted to make a video, like I said, a video response. So first of all, I want to say that I actually agree with the vast majority of the things that he says, and a lot of it is stuff that I've been saying as well. There are a couple minor differences though. So first of all, he talks about how, Minkah is unhappy, and I'll put the link to that video in the description box of this video so you guys can watch it if you haven't seen it. Anyways, so, I should have done, anyway, yeah, so, he talks about how obviously Minkah's unhappy with, playing in spots that he's not really suited for, and so on and so forth. And one of the big theme is that Minkah's been mishandled in his video, and I agree with that. He said that he thinks that Adam Gase started that mishandling. I disagree, right? But here's some things though. So first of all, he thinks that Minkah is a free safety. He thinks that, which I completely agree with, and you guys should know if you've seen my videos, that's what he's actually best at. And he is also really good at slot corner, and he also did that a lot in college. K-Flexin was saying that he was primarily a slot corner in college. He played a lot of free safety in college as well. He played a lot of both, and he's really good at both, and that's what his skill set, his body frame, and all that stuff, whatever those tangibles are tailored towards, right? Now, in the first year with Adam Gase, he was used as a free safety, as a slot corner, and as a boundary corner. I completely agree with K-Flexin on that. That is a fact. And I would also agree that that was probably too much, a bit too much, especially in his rookie season. I would agree with K-Flexin on that as well. Where I do disagree, though, a little bit is that he didn't really have a choice, because we need, Minkah is a versatile player, and he did play some boundary corner in college as well, although not that much. And we didn't really have anybody, we hadn't had anybody to really pair opposite of Xavier Howard. Bobby McCain was manning down the slot corner. We made him the highest paid slot corner to man that position. We had two good strong safeties, TJ McDonald and Rashad Jones, both more in the box safeties. K-Flexin mentioned that a lot, that he's not an in the box safety. I completely agree. He's a free safety. He's rangy. He's, he makes plays on the ball. He's got, quickness and agility, right? That's what he's for. That's it. That's his build. And to swap into some slot corner, I think that there was a little bit of a necessity to use his abilities to, on the boundary. Was it a bit too much? Yes, but I don't think Adam Gase should be really blamed for that. I don't think that Adam Gase was mishandling him in that way. That's an area in which I do disagree with him. He says K-Flexin thinks that Adam Gase was mishandling him. I don't think so, because he actually did play boundary corner a bit too in college, and Again, we didn't really have anybody for sure opposite him. Cordray Tankersley got hurt or whatever. Cornell Armstrong, didn't really raise up to that level. The other guys that we had there, Tony Lippett, we ended up trading away, and he was hurt after the Achilles. We traded him, not long after that because, he didn't really have the same pep in his step and so on and so forth. And, he's kind of, faded out. I think he might still be in the NFL on a team somewhere, maybe Houston or Philly or something, I don't know. Anyway, but if he is, he's not really doing anything, so we didn't really have anybody opposite. So I thought in that case there was a necessity for it. And so, but he did play a lot of free safety and slot, primarily free safety under Adam Gase. So I don't think Adam Gase mishandled him at all. But he is absolutely correct that Brian Flores threw in additional positions on top of that. Not only did he have to play free safety, slot corner, and boundary corner, but then he also had to start playing strong safety and linebacker positions, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That is far too much. He's not built to be a strong safety or a linebacker. So that's just, that's not his skill set, and that could get him hurt, right? So none of that makes any fucking sense. Totally agree with K-Flexin there. Brian Flores is absolutely mishandling him, but it's in part because of his other decisions as well, right? So you could actually argue that there is somewhat of a necessity because, Rashad Jones has been a bit banged up, and then he released TJ McDonald for just no fucking reason whatsoever, right? So, and then he, traded Kiko, they got rid of some other guys on the, in the defense, and so other guys are hurt, right? So like, you could argue there is a bit of a necessity, but some of that necessity was out of the choices that him and this regime made, right? Like it wasn't Adam Gase's choice to not have an adequate corner. They tried, they just, unfortunately, one of the guys that they tried with, Tony Lippett, got a serious injury, not in his control, and he just didn't have the same, stuff coming out. Cordray Tankersley, did some good things early on, started looking like he might be able to rise to his potential, but then for some reason he just, I think maybe it had to do with a little bit with some minor injury stuff, and then also he might have gotten beat on some plays, but either way, something happened to him and he lost his confidence, and then he just kind of fell off from there and hasn't, ever regained it. And Cornell Armstrong, I mean, he was like a 6th or 7th round guy anyway, and he's just kind of been in the background. So, they swung a few times and they didn't get those ones right, to be perfectly fair and honest, about it, right? They didn't get those ones right. So there was a bit of, but it wasn't, they didn't do it on purpose. They weren't just, senselessly like cutting guys and creating holes on the team like Flores did. So that's why I think there is a big disparity between, how Adam Gase and Brian Flores handled it. And so that's why I do disagree a little bit with him. Also, he says that, you don't take a slot corner, that high in the draft, and I would agree. And he says that, if Minkah, is only going to play slot corner and only wants to play slot corner or whatever, then, it was a waste of a pick to take him that high if he's only going to be a slot corner, and, we should trade him and get what we can. And I would agree with that to some extent, that if that's the case, but I don't think Minkah at all says, and he even said in his video that, Minkah hasn't said he wouldn't play free safety. But it's not only that, but that's one of his top positions and a position that he loves. And in the past, he has said that he really loves free safety. So if they played him at free safety and a little bit, threw him into the slot, then it would be fine. And, I'm sure he would love it and be okay with it. Another thing is for just no reason whatever, for, no real reason, he just decided to take Bobby McCain, the guy who we just paid to be the highest paid slot corner in the league because that's what he excels at, and just was like, oh, we're just gonna, randomly throw him into the spot where Minkah's supposed to be. So he did all kinds of, Brian Flores just did all kinds of nonsensical things. That's why I'm saying, like, every single thing that he's doing just doesn't make any sense and just makes everything much more complicated and worse. By the way, I haven't reported on the fact that, and, Omar Kelly and Dave Hyde actually talked about this in their little fucking show or whatever, but Brian Flores is just beating them senseless in practice, like slave driving the shit out of them in practice. And so, they're not liking that either. Look, I mean, everything he's doing is just, every decision he makes is at odds with every other decision he makes, right? There's no gelling between, any of his decisions whatsoever, right? So, he's anyway, like I said, and so, like, that's why if they just used him right, and if Brian Flores, and not just Brian Flores, to be fair and to be clear, Chris Greer and this whole regime, Stephen Ross, and Marvin Allen and fucking whoever the other fuckers, I can't remember, all of them, all these motherfuckers that are brought in to fucking, whatever, and to have an opinion, they're all failing miserably in the absolute worst possible way that they can. And so I don't think it's all at all on Minkah. He's but K-Flexin also said the Dolphins took him to be a free safety because that's what he is. That's what he is. And so, they should have just been playing Bobby McCain in the slot. They should have fucking had Minkah right from the beginning, just off the bat. They should have fucking had Minkah in free safety. They shouldn't have cut TJ McDonald. That way they'd have the, 2 in the box safeties and then 1 legit free safety. That was the problem last year is we had 2 really good in the box strong safeties, but we didn't really have a free safety. Not last year, but the year before that, right? And the years before that, right? Until we got Minkah. And then finally we got Minkah, even though we didn't actually need a safety overall, we did need a free safety and because we never had one really. And so then we had 2 really good strong safeties, a dominant free safety, like the best slot corner in the league and one of the best up and coming corners in Xavier Howard. All you need is 1 more corner. Why would you mess with that? Like, there's the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, why are you breaking things? Like, why are you trying to fix something that's already, like, good to go? And then our linebackers, like, our linebackers were looking really good this year. If you were going to have, Kiko and Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan, Sam McGuavian was a surprise, but then you throw him in the mix. Right? Chase Allen is a good special teamer and a good backup, right? So that group of linebackers was looking fabulous. And then, some of them get hurt. You trade away Kiko Alonso for just a drastic downgrade. The defensive line could have been so much better if they would have kept at least Cameron Wake. For sure, get rid of Andre Branch. I'm indifferent about, Robert Quinn, sure, get rid of him, but I would have kept William Hayes then. Keep those 2, Cameron Wake and William Hayes. Keep Vincent Taylor. Why the fuck did you get rid of him? And then with him and Akeem Spence, you keep, dude, if they would have had, and of course, obviously, I would have done the draft differently. I would have gotten a defensive lineman in round 2, not Christian Wilkins. I would have gotten Garrett Bradbury in the 1st round, Will Greer in the 3rd round, right? But dude, we could, and then you have Ryan Tannehill if you would have kept Juwan James. I mean, dude, like, we could have had such a fucking solid team but he's literally him, not just him. I say Brian Flores a lot. He is a major problem here, but it's all of them. It's the entire, from the top down, from Stephen Ross, Chris Greer, Marvin Allen. I can't remember the other dude's name in the front office there that was brought in to be like a big time consultant, advisor, blah blah blah. And then Brian Flores. They're just dismantling and destroying absolutely everything. Anyway, so like I said, for the vast majority of what he said, I very much disagree with. The only things I really disagree with are that Gase mishandled him. I thought there was an actual necessity for it, and he did play boundary corner a bit in college, so it's not like he was totally unfamiliar with it. Plus, it's not that much different from slot corner or free safety. Those positions actually kind of make sense together if you're gonna, try and do position versatility. Throwing in strong safety and linebacker is just absurd because they're totally different body types. Just to start with, let alone assignments and all that other stuff, right? So, it's absurd, right? So, like, Adam Gase did not mishandle him. There was a necessity for it since we didn't have that other corner opposite Xavier Howard, and he wasn't even used there that much. A bit, and when he was, he did, feel the pain, but he also was a rookie last year, right? So, and he still had a really good season overall, right? And so that's the one main area that I disagree with him in. And then the other thing really is just that I don't think Minkah has, from the things that I've seen, he's said that free safety and slot, totally good. And even a little bit of boundary corner if necessary, right? So, I don't think that he was a wasted first round pick because we did take him, to K-Flexin's points, we did take him as a free safety. He wants to play safety with some boundary corner. I think that having that, slot corner, having the versatility to play some boundary as well does allow you to, in different packages, move him around a little bit, every once in a while just to throw some wrinkles and to confuse things. That's good. That's where his, Swiss Army label came from and should apply, right? And that's what Adam Gase was doing. But Brian Flores is just, he's moving players into positions they shouldn't be. Not just Minkah, but Bobby McCain. He's getting rid of guys that he doesn't need to be getting rid of, creating holes. It's just, and then he's stacking just bizarre, nonsensical things on him. Anyway, so that's all I got. That is my response video to K-Flexin's video on the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade situation. And yeah, so I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure... Oh, wait. I'm going to backtrack. Also, I want to mention that I did get the petition made up. Look, man, I don't want to sit here and waste any time, hoping that, Stephen Ross is going to do the right thing, or that, in a couple years from now we can get it right, or, in another decade we can get it right. The dumpster fire just grows larger every day. So I can't see how anyone looks at this logically and thinks that even in 3 years from now, we're going to be even close. I don't know how anybody can logically think that this regime is going to make it, a term long enough to have that opportunity. So, I think that in 3 years from now, we're just going to be in another, or possibly even sooner, but, within the next few years, we're going to be just back at square one after just the biggest disaster. We're going to be historically bad this year, and it's just so shameful and sad and frustrating and disappointing and a lot of things, man, because it didn't need to be this way. Anyway, but the petition is up. It is live. Look, man, you know, Stephen Ross needs to sell the team. He's proven that he cannot handle football decisions for this team. He has proven that, you know, his money means more than the players. It means more than, you know, a lot of things, right? Like, again, I mean, you know, I try and leave politics out as much as possible, but it's impossible to leave it out completely because it affects everything in life. But, you know, he's done with me because of his support for Donald Trump and because he can't make any sound football decisions. So those two things together in full context, Stephen Ross needs to sell the team as far as I'm concerned. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that feel like Ross needs to get rid of the team. So if you feel that way, and sell it to somebody. So if you feel that way, sign the petition, man. Look, it might take a bit to gain enough traction and support, but eventually if we get enough signatures and if we can build it, you know, large enough, then, man, I'm telling you, we can make some noise and we can affect change. It's, you know, for right now, as far as I can tell, you know, having this discussion on a regular basis and doing this petition are really the only things that we can do as fans to affect some legit change. You know, so look, you know, it's up to y'all, man. I'm like I said, I'm spearheading it. I got it. It's live. So, you know, you guys should check it out. And if you're with me, sign it. If not, you know, I mean, you don't even have to right now. If you still need to make up your time, you know, do it. Take your time to think about it. You know, see how this year goes, right? Whatever. But me personally, I don't want to sit and wait. That's why I said, you know, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.